Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll take a look into the career of one of the best scorers in the NBA. Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook teamed up and the Wizards have a chance in the play-in tournament to stay alive this postseason. So today's topic is NBA legends and more on Bradley Beal. So let's get into the video. Many have opinions on Brad and where he needs to go in order to have a chance to win a championship. He's been putting up record numbers and even added rust to the squad, but the Wizards still can't finish with a winning record. So let's check out what some NBA legends and more have to say about Brad.
The man dropped 50 in back-to-back games on consecutive nights and still loses twice. Do you feel badly for Bradley Beal?
I do. I've been here before. The guy's in his prime years of his career, and he's playing outstanding right now for this franchise. And it's tough on him because John Wall has been out the last couple years. And when you don't have that other all-star, it is tough on your shoulders to deliver like this every night. And he's showing that, you know, he's having a winning attitude, his approach to the game, the way he's going about trying to get wins for his teams, and it's just not transferring over. I mean, putting up these type of numbers, you would think, you know, they result in a win.
Just one, maybe.
Just at least one. You know, so you're not far. You're 4.5 games out from the A spot, but if you can't, if Bradley Beal is putting up 50-plus points and you lose to the Chicago Bulls, then I don't see you getting into the playoffs. Problem. I mean, he's playing great basketball, but he just doesn't have enough for that to result into to wins, and that could be frustrating. Yeah, you could go out, you could put up an average 30 points for the rest of this season, but if you're not winning, it really doesn't mean anything.
And there are interesting young players there. Like I think
Beal's visual displeasure about the Wizards' rough start this season has been well documented on this show. And while Beal and the organization remain very steadfast in their commitment to each other, it does make for a lot of drama being played out in real time, which is to think that Bradley Beal is better or worse off without John Wall in DC.
Well, I think he's better off because he's developed and morphed into this player that he's become. You know, one of the game's great scorers. He has the ball in his hand a lot more. And so, you know, I think that team with John Wall, they kind of like leveled out. They weren't going anywhere in the Eastern Conference, and so they had to make some moves. But he's been spectacular. You can see the growth in his game, the way he's developed into an all-star, into a premier two-guard in this league, arguably the best two-guard in the league. And, you know, with that saying, because John Wall's not there, the ball is in his hand, and he can develop and be more of a playmaker, more than just a shooter as we looked at him as all these years, just a shooter who can make plays. Now he can do everything out there on the court, make plays. He can run your point guard, two guard, and so as you see with the stats, he's developed into quite a player, I would say.
After an intense battle throughout the season, Steph beat out Brad for the scoring title. Curry averaged 31.9 points per game, while Brad fell short and averaged 31.3 points. He's just coming back into play after a hamstring injury, so that played a part in it as well. So let's get back to NBA legends and more on Bradley Beal.
Guard in the league. My numbers may show it, but we're not winning. I think that hurts an all-NBA case in a lot of ways. But in terms of individual success, I feel like I'm right there. Byron, how compelling is Beal's case for All-NBA despite his team's struggles?
Well, I think it is very compelling because he has put up some good numbers this season. And I think Bradley Beal is one of the better two guards in this league, no doubt about it. I mean, he's gotten better, it seems like, every year. He's taking his game to a different level. His team not being successful, will that hurt his case? Probably so. You know, just a tad. It'll probably hurt his case, but there are a lot of great two guards out there.
That's
you know,
my thing.
And I'm looking at, you know, the first guy that came to mind for me, you know, was Klay Thompson. I was like, wait a minute, you saying you're second best? Klay Thompson right there, you know, I mean, and he plays on both ends every single night. Can give you numbers. He's a prototype two guard where he's running off of screens. He's a catch and shoot type guy. But he has a point, but there are a lot of great two guards in the league today.
Paul, this is your former teammate.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has a case, but you have to reward winning. If we just talked about numbers and numbers alone,
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker will be the second best two guard, but we don't consider him an all NBA member or the second best. So winning comes with these type of things, making All-NBA. Unless you're putting up extraordinary numbers now, if he was 14 games under 500, but he was averaging 35, then we'd be like, oh, that's putting in some work.
Right.
But, the only one I can think of, there's only two guys I can think of making All-NBA with a bad team right now, and that's probably Anthony Davis may make one.
Right.
And maybe Karl Anthony Towns. But these guys are putting up huge numbers, and so, you got to have standout numbers to make an All-NBA team on a losing team.
We're going to talk about this in a little bit, about John Wall's injury, but I wanted to ask both of you guys, do you think you could build an NBA team where Bradley Beal is your best player?
Build a team, yes. Winning every single night.
Yeah, that's what we're in the business
you know what I mean?
Coach.
Yeah, you're right. Build a team as far as winning every single night. I think he has to be a vital piece of that. I don't think you can build it around him. I don't think he can be your best player and you win an NBA championship. I think he can definitely be your second or third best, and you can be very, very successful and have a chance to win championships. But if he's your best player, again, that's Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
He's your best player. They're under 500.
Right.
So he needs to be on a team where he's not necessarily the best player. If he's your second or third best, Klay Thompson. You're going to have a chance to win every single night.
Speaking of someone who's playing MVP caliber basketball right now, that would be Bradley Beal. Guys, he has been a man amongst boys. He dropped 35, 5, and 4 against Houston. Bradley Beal leads the NBA in scoring, yet the Wizards have the worst record in the NBA. And many have wondered about the possibility of Washington trading him. Max, so if they were to deal Beal, what do you think would be the best situation for him?
Bucks, or at least that's the team I think that needs them the most to put them over the top. I say this religiously on this show, as Stephen A. would say. Stephen A., your assessment of Giannis several years ago, hey, in the playoffs he's going to play like a big, was right on the money. That's exactly what happened. Credit where it's due. But what does that mean about Giannis? It means we can't really judge him based on the way we judge the perimeter players, because the history of the NBA has always been, in the modern era, if you're a great big and you want to win a championship, you better have a great non-big who's just as good as you, more or less, who's on that level in order to win a championship. The couple times it happened, like Hakeem did it because Jordan was out of the league. So he was going up against Patrick Ewing with no help, right? Or Shaq, who had Penny but did not have Kobe or Wade. You better have a dude who's on your level, who's not a big, who can go get his own shot, who can create all of that. Kareem had Oscar and Magic, won 6 chips, 1-0 without them. Shaq, I just said Penny wasn't even enough, had Wade and Kobe, of course, 4 chips, none without them. A great big needs another great player, especially a perimeter player, who's great. Drew Holiday is excellent. I like Drew Holiday a lot. Stephen A., that's not him. Drew Holiday, look, had AD. AD had Drew Holiday. They didn't do anything. Drew Holiday is a fantastic player. He's not what I'm talking about. And so is Middleton, and he's not what I'm talking about. Bradley Beal, I think, qualifies, particularly when you see what he can do this season. When the handcuffs are off, when he's getting a lot of touches. Bradley Beal, if he's not it, is the next thing to it, is what the Bucks need to put them over the top. And I think that's the team that should be most interested in him.
And they're trending in a positive direction. That being said, 11 straight games of scoring 40.
And so, yeah,
that's got to be
Let's actually say the stat for the people. So Bradley Beal has the last 11 games where he has tipped over 40, the Wizards have lost, which is not shockingly an NBA record.
It's not an NBA record?
I'm sorry, that is the NBA
I'm about to say, I was like, who scored more than that and didn't win a game?
It's Monday, and I need more coffee.
It's okay. But that, to me, there might be something in that stat. There might be something in that stat. Now, I'm not going to, get on Bradley Beal or say this, but 11 times? I'm sorry, if I'm doing something 11 times and it's not working, I might change.
What else do you want him to do?
I'm just saying, I might change my approach.
Well, there's an interesting stat. I did my show this morning and we were digging a little bit. When Donovan Mitchell shoots just under 20% or 20 attempts a game, they're 15-1. When he shoots 22 attempts per game, just that's 2.5 shot attempts per game.
Right.
They have the record is a lot different. So there's that thin line between attempts and numbers for leading players that kind of tilt whether they're going to win or lose.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's if it's I'm not saying not to go out if you're cooking to go
He's supposed
get
to try to score 50 every night.
Every night. That's his job to do. But it's okay, maybe take a different approach to that. Because 11 straight times at 40, that's not just a random thing. That means that you're scoring, you're doing a lot, but it's not generating team wins.
To have Beal, who almost captured the scoring leader title, and Westbrook, who's been averaging a triple-double for who knows how long now, I felt like the Wizards should have had a better season than they actually did. Where do you think Brad needs to go to get a championship? Let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for tuning in to watch today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.